Okay, joining me now, Communications Director for Turning Point USA and new star in America, Candace Owens. So, Candace, he spoke tonight about black unemployment being at record low, and talked about his new friend Kanye West. Now, do you think that Kanye is throwing his support behind President Trump because of his economic policies for black America?
For sure. I think what Kanye West is doing is essentially assessing the differences between how black America is doing now versus how it was doing under Obama's administration. He's understanding the facts are the facts. We know that we know that Kanye has particularly cared a lot about Chicago and its community and what's been going on over there because that's where he's from. And quite frankly, they're just doing a lot better under this administration. I mean, that's what it comes down to. So I'm really excited to see where black America is going to head. And I'm very excited that Kanye West has jumped on board fully, and he seems to be doubling and tripling down with his support.
And black America, I think 90% votes for Democrats. Whites are almost evenly split, maybe a little bit more Republican. Hispanics and Asians, it's about 60-30. Why do you think, as a black woman in America, that there's such a monolithic group that supports the Democratic Party in black America?
It's very simple. You have to remember, Jesse, I come from the left. I was a liberal, and I can tell you exactly why. It has to do with the educational system. We learned our history wrong. We learned that LBJ was the greatest president for black America, and that couldn't be more false. I mean, what he did essentially enslaved us, the Democratic Party, with the Great Society Act. Then it starts with our family. We look to culture and hip-hop to define what we should think, which is why Jay-Z and Beyonce were always at the White House when Obama was in it. And that starts with the breakdown of the black family. Our fathers are not in our homes because that was incentivized by LBJ's Great Society Act. So it really is a two-pronged approach, and they have all of us voting for them for all of the wrong reasons. We don't understand our history, and we don't understand the economic policies behind it.
So you think the education system in this country teaches black Americans that big government policies started by LBJ and the Great Society are good for them, but you're saying that those big government policies, in fact, have maybe stifled the growth of the black America?
This honestly is not a matter of opinion. This is a matter of a fact because I came up in the public school education. We also learned that the Republican Party is virtually demonized in our textbooks. I always say the #1 issue facing the black community is education. We need a real education makeover. Most blacks still believe that the Republican and the Democratic parties switched in the 1970s, and that's just an absolute myth. That never happened under something called the Southern Strategy. It's just not real. So most people it's not something that they're willfully being ignorant. They're learning to be ignorant in the school systems, and once again at homes via culture. They're idolizing people that are not telling them what's actually and accurately going on in our communities.
Well, listen, I know because I've hit the streets, and when you ask people, was Abraham Lincoln a Republican or a Democrat, I think about half the people that I interview think Abraham Lincoln was a Democrat. Candace Owens.
That's true.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.